This giant building was once the crown jewel of Europe. Today it's widely called the worst hotel in Britain. Sitting high above Scarborough, the UK's very first seaside resort, this Victorian masterpiece was designed for royalty. So how did an architectural icon plunge from ultimate luxury into absolute viral disaster? We spent the night to find out. This is the tragic downfall of Scarborough's Grand Hotel. Hi folks and welcome back. So today we are staying at probably one of the worst hotels in the UK, or at least that's what people say. So we are here in Scarborough, staying at the Grand Hotel Scarborough. Let's get inside and see if it's actually as bad as people make out. Come on. The outside of the Grand Hotel looks stunning, with its imposing Victorian architecture. On entering the hotel itself, the check-in is just over to the left-hand side of the lobby, and it is a fairly small check-in area. The lobby still looks lovely though. There are, however, only two lifts that take you up to the floors, and they are both tucked away in a little corner of the lobby area. Hi folks, and welcome to the room here at the Grand Hotel Scarborough. And to be fair, when we came in on checking in that, the lobby area didn't actually look too bad, as you probably saw. But when you come up to the room, there is that almost like musty old smell when you come in. It's not that pleasant. It's not the end of the world, but it's not that pleasant. This is just your standard twin room as well. And as you can see, as you come in, you're going to have the bathroom right here on your right, and we'll come to that after doing a little tour of the room, which isn't going to take that long because it is a small room. You walk in and you've got your two beds right here for you. Now, it is quite snug and cosy. The beds are pushed up against either wall. In fact, this bed is at a slight angle because I think if it was dead close to that wall, you wouldn't be able to open the bathroom door, which isn't great. The bedding, surprisingly, does look clean. However, the headboards and the walls next to the bed do have quite a few stains on them, which is a little bit off-putting to just think what might have been wiped on those walls. So it's not great, but the bedding looks clean, so fingers crossed. In between the two beds, you have got a bedside table. There is a rather large lamp on there as well. And you have got light switches to the lights in the room just there. Now, there are no power sockets near the bed. So if you're going to have to charge your devices, then you're going to have to do it away from the bed area. But we'll get to where the power sockets are shortly. Elsewhere in the room, you have got a desk with a chair as well. Now, the desk and the chair have seen better days. The chair is a bit stained, and the desk is quite chipped and that. You're probably not going to be coming here to do some work, but you could probably fit a laptop on it if you want. It's more likely you would maybe use that if you wanted to, I don't know, do some makeup in front of the mirror or something. There are some power sockets just above the desk though, so if you do need to plug anything in and charge anything, you can do that right there. Just above the desk, you have got a mirror, so you can see yourself if you wanted to do your hair maybe in front of it, or your makeup or something else. Just below the mirror and on the desk, you have got your tea and coffee making facilities as well. It's not the most luxurious tea and coffee making facilities, although you do have Twinings tea on there, which is probably the most fancy thing in the hotel. Looking in the kettle, there are some bits in the bottom. It doesn't look like limescale. It looks more like maybe cigarette ash or something. But I might give that a miss and not have a cup of tea on this stay. There are no biscuits either, so that is always a letdown. Just next to the desk, you have got the TV. It's a smallish flat screen TV, but it's on the wall. It'll do the job kind of thing, and you can see it from your bed. The room's not massive, so it doesn't need to be a massive screen. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll report back on the TV in the morning for you. Just below the TV, you have also got a fridge as well. Now the fridge is empty. We've popped in a couple of our drinks in there already, but it's nice to have in the room. It can chill your drinks. Maybe you've got some food that you want us to stick in there as well, then you can pop it in, because the room is on the warm side. It is summer at the moment and there's no air conditioning. You might be able to open the window. We'll give that a go. However, you do look on to the hotel itself. So although this is a room with a window, because yes, they do hotel rooms here without windows, you do not get a sea view or anything. It is just of the hotel itself, and it looks pretty terrible, to be honest, as you can see on camera. Elsewhere in the room though, you have got this big wardrobe space, and in there you have got an iron. You've got no ironing board though, so you're gonna have to, I don't know, maybe iron on the desk or something, like make it up as you go along. There are some spare towels in there, and you have also got plenty of hanging space and hangers, but also more importantly, there is a fan in there as well. So if it gets a bit too warm, you can always get the fan out, switch it on, and hopefully blow a bit of air around as well. That's it for the room, folks. There is a radiator I should add as well, just in case you get a bit hot, get a bit cold, sorry, maybe even in like winter if you're here. So that's kind of handy, but that is the room, folks. It is pretty basic, I'm not going to lie. If you saw our stay at the 4-star Grand Hotel and Spa, which is also based in Scarborough, you'll know that room was a lot better. And to be fair, this is meant to be a 3-star hotel. It doesn't seem like that on the picture. Obviously, it's dated in here. It's not the cleanest. I'm already looking forward to staying the night. Right, folks, so that's it for the room. We're going to head into the bathroom now and take a look at what that's like. So come on, let's go through. Okay, folks, so now we are into the bathroom itself, and it's fairly compact, to say the least. There will only ever be 2 of you in this room, though, as it is just a twin room. But you haven't got much room in here, I'm not going to lie. As you come in, you have got the shower just here. It is quite a small cubicle shower. It has seen better days. The tiles just aren't that clean, and neither's the shower tray at the bottom. The shower head looks partially broken. It'll be interesting actually using that, switching the water on and seeing if it does come out of multiple areas. As you can see on the footage, the bit that attaches the shower head to the wall is all cracked. Hopefully it works fine though, and we'll see as we go on, but it's not great. You have also got some spare towels just here as well. There's no heated towel rail in here. They are just on a normal towel rail, so they're not going to dry for you, which could be a problem if it is a cold, maybe winter's day, and you're staying here. Elsewhere, you have got a waste paper bin as well, just next to the toilet. Just above the toilet, you have got a spare roll of toilet paper as well. And then below you do have the toilet. And to be fair, the toilet itself, as you can see, is actually looking really clean, which is fantastic. Elsewhere in the bathroom, you have got the actual toilet roll holder in front of you there, with the toilet roll on. And then you've got the wash basin. It is just a basic wash basin, but there's no chips in it. It looks fairly clean, which is what you want. On the side, you have got a little bar of soap, and you have also got 2 plastic cups as well, and they are in polystyrene, so they haven't been used, so at least you know they should be clean. Above the wash basin, you have got your little mirror, so you can see what you're doing if you're washing your face or brushing your teeth. And above that, you have got a little light as well. There are also sockets to plug in a electrical shaver if you've got one. But folks, that is the bathroom. The floor is a bit grubby, as well as the rest of the bathroom. Hopefully it should do for a night, but I wouldn't want to spend any longer than that staying here. I think that's it for the bathroom, folks. So We are now going to go on a little tour of the hotel and see what the rest of the place looks like. So come on, let's get going. As you saw before, with only 2 lifts in the building, it is easier to use the stairs at each end of the hotel. And to be fair, the stairs are a nice area. They're light and airy and actually kept in pretty decent condition. As you can see, the hallways and corridors off the stairway are all fairly generic, but they were clean and tidy, mostly. Getting down to one of the first lounges now, and this one had cricket pictures up on the walls of some of the famous Yorkshire cricket players. It was a bit unusual. There's no bar in here, it is just a lounge area with hotel rooms off it. Going down the stairs further, there is a little balcony area where you can look out over the main lobby itself. It's a bit unusual, but it's well worth just going to stand on and having a look round. The main staircase in the hotel is fantastic, and to be fair, you could really get a sense that this could be such a grand hotel, and maybe back to its heyday it was. It's now looking a little bit tired, but I was more than surprised with how nice the common areas in the hotel were. I did not expect them to be in such good condition when seeing other people's reviews on the hotel. You can get married here in the Palm Court Ballroom if you wish to, and you can go on their website and check out what those packages involve. Now the doors were locked today, so we didn't get to go in, but you could see it through the glass. The maisonette level just above the lobby does have rooms off it, and it would be a little bit unusual, I think, to maybe have one of these rooms. You're going to maybe get a little bit of noise coming in as people wander around. It is quite a busy area of the hotel, but it also does give you a feeling of how grand this hotel was back in the day, and as I said, how grand it could be. Just off here you do have the cabaret ballroom as well, and you can go into there. Now this is the top floor of the cabaret ballroom. As you can see, the stage would be down below there and you can sit round. It is a nice space if there is entertainment on. The main restaurant in the hotel wasn't open at the time, but it is actually a really good size and does offer some great sea views and also views of Scarborough itself. As you can see, you'd have the buffet set up just over there and one on the other side as well. Heading back from the main dining area, you do have a little small games room as well with a pool table and some arcade machines in there, as well as some vending machines as well. There is a terrace here at the Grand Hotel Scarborough where if it's a lovely day you can take a drink out and enjoy it on the terrace. Now you do get stunning views of the beach area in Scarborough itself, and you do have the hotel as the backdrop. Now if you don't mind dodging the seagulls, this would be a nice place for a drink on a good day. And again, harking back in Victorian times, this would be absolutely stunning. The hotel from the beach is really imposing, as you can see, and to be fair, looks fantastic. So folks, that was a tour of the hotel, and as you saw, some of the areas are actually truly impressive, like the lobby area and that, and then leading up to the first floor and that, and even some of the ballroom areas and stuff. And you just think this place could be so much nicer than it is. But I hope you enjoyed the tour anyway. I'm going to get some sleep for the night, and I'll see you in the morning for the verdict show. Catch you later. Hi and morning, folks. So, how did I sleep last night? Well, for starters, the bed was actually reasonably comfortable, and the sheets are all clean, which was fantastic. However, it does creep you out a little bit when there's stains on the wall right next to where you're sleeping. You kind of don't obviously want to roll over and touch them. The headboard has seen better days as well, which isn't great. And I would say the room is absolutely boiling. Now, we've had the window open all night. We've had to prop it open with the box of tissues because otherwise it wouldn't stay open. We've had the fan on as well, and the room is still really warm, which just makes sleeping really uncomfortable. The TV does work okay though, which is one bonus in the room. However, some negatives are the fact you do get a lot of exterior noise as well from the hallway just outside. The walls almost seem paper thin. The bathroom is a real letdown. The shower tub collects water, and then when you open the door, it fills up and then comes over the side and just fills the bathroom slightly with excess water, which isn't great. It's also not the cleanest in the world either. You should come to a hotel, and fair enough, you don't always have to expect luxury, but it is a treat. Staying a night in a hotel should be a treat. You know, you've earned the money, you've paid for it, it should be nice. And it's just not here. Is it the worst hotel in the UK? Well, there's probably going to be a lot worse, and you can probably find them quite easily. Now, it's not the best hotel, it is dirty. You can probably hear the seagulls maybe even outside now because we've had to open the window. There is no air conditioning. It has seen better days. The bathroom isn't great. But for £68 a night, is it okay? You know, you've got to manage your expectations at the end of the day. One thing that did shock me almost when we were here, though, is that the lobby area and some of the communal areas actually don't look that bad. Obviously, it dates back to the Victorian era with the grandness, and if you don't look that closely, it still does look quite grand in the lobby and up on the first floor balcony, which is a plus point. And it did surprise me because I did think it was going to be pretty naff all round, to be fair. The rooms, however, do let it down big time. As I said, I paid £68 for tonight. Now, it is a Saturday night we were staying on, and it is a twin room. You don't get breakfast included in that, though, so you're going to have to either add that on or find it yourself in the centre of Scarborough. So, folks, I think that's it for my review of the Grand Hotel here in Scarborough. Now, would I stay here again? No. I would probably stay back at the Grand Hotel Spa, where we stayed last night and the video you saw last week. It's just a lot nicer, and you might as well spend your hard-earned money on a nicer hotel that you actually look forward to going back to. So, as always, folks, please feel free to like the video, please feel free to comment and subscribe. It's free for you to do, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy travels and goodbye.